In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the last greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the one and only Tony Tone, the magician, the boy with a lot of flair. And as you know, I am a classic man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the one and only podcast that's worth listening to when it comes to golf talk, and that's Balls and Tees. Man, am I so excited to be here on a Wednesday evening. Gauteng weather, Pretoria weather as a whole has been quite fantastic lately, a bit of clouds here and there, but overall it has been sunny and we are now in April. So this is the first episode of April, and I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that we've got beautiful things coming. Apart from us having launched our video podcast, we are joined by someone who is involved in the revolution of golf, and I will be introducing him in a few minutes. But as you already know the drill, before we even get to the crux of the matter, you need to get yourself an ice cold glass of water because it's gonna get hot here tonight. We're gonna have a lot of fun with our guest, and he will be telling us what they are busy with on his site. And yeah, as you know, the beat goes on. So, ladies and gentlemen, give me a 2 minute break, and then let's quickly make sure that we bring our guest in because he's been waiting for us with anticipation. He's as excited as I am, and I'm sure there's a lot that he wants to share. So let's go for that 2 minute break, and then we will be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, today's show is going to be heated. I already had one full glass of ice cold water and I'm on my second one, but let me not delay anymore because our guest has been waiting for us and I can see the man is ready to speak and tell us what has been happening in his space. Please help me welcome Mr. Mike Johnston. Mike,
Tony, thanks so much for having me. I've got my ice cold water by my side and
oh,
I'm keen
lovely.
for today's discussion.
Awesome stuff. I'm sure that ice cold water is just to cool yourself down because there's so much that you want to discuss with us.
Of course.
100%. Listen, Mike, so I tried introducing you, but I don't think that I've really done justice to your name. So would you mind reintroducing yourself to our audience and then just tell them exactly who you are, what you do, what's happening in your space, and then we can get into our discussion afterwards.
Sure. So my name is Michael Johnston. I have been in the golf industry now for 3 years and I work with Golf RSA. So where it all started for me, and I think it's always nice to just give a bit of background. So
Mhm.
I studied at the University of Pretoria and I was doing a BCom business management. I wasn't quite sure exactly what I was going to go into.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing my honors in marketing, which
Hmm.
was, a lot based on social media and stuff like that. So straight out of my honors year, I went to a
Hmm.
social media company
Oh yeah.
and I found that I enjoyed what I did. I liked social media, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the people I was working with. They
Yeah.
loved it and I liked it.
Hmm.
So I found that after work, I was just so keen to get home and, have a little bit of free time. Whereas the people that I was working with, it was three girls who were super hardworking, and after work they were searching Facebook strategies and Instagram tips and coming up with suggestions late at night. And I
Yeah.
just found that I didn't have that spark. I didn't have that passion towards social media. So after that, I took a few months off and I went into sales.
Mm.
I was promised the world for this job, and it was so different to what I had been told. It
Yeah.
was basically cold calling, and I would be dropped off in, let's say, Witbank or Secunda or wherever it is for the day. Sometimes
Mm.
it would be a 2-3 hour drive, and I
Mm.
would knock on doors selling PABX systems, telephones, and internet.
Yeah.
So I did that for about 4 months. That
Mhm.
were probably the 4 hardest months that I've experienced.
Mhm.
And one day I had enough. I was getting screamed at every morning. It was basically like the Wolf of Wall Street, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
um, and then I took a few months off after that, and while I was unemployed or in between jobs, however you want to say,
Yeah.
one of my friends in the golf industry, Michael Farson,
Mhm.
so he's the junior manager at Central Gauteng Golf Union, and for his events, I helped out with the scoring for a while.
Mhm.
And I mean, the scoring was all right, but I wanted to really get involved in the golf industry. I've been a golfer myself since I was 14.
Oh
I
yeah.
took up the game quite late, but I mean, I've always, like, since I started getting into golf, I get obsessed with it.
Mm.
Um, and I was doing the scoring, and after that, I got into Mike needed me to manage an under 13 team at the IPT. And I remember I had little background knowledge when it came to rules and tournaments and stuff like that. And all the managers sat in this meeting, and Dave Young, who I work with now at Golf RSA, was the tournament director at the time. And I
Mhm.
remember him talking us through the rules and how the tournament's going to work. I really
Yeah.
had such little knowledge that all I was doing is nodding my head in that meeting. And I remember there was a time, I think it was on day 2 or day 3, we were in between holes, and Dave came up to me on the cart and we had a little chat. And I just said, Dave, like, I can see how inspired you are about what you do.
Mm.
And I would love that, coming from jobs that I just didn't quite enjoy before. I'd
Yeah.
like to get involved in the golf industry. And Dave said, listen, we don't have any openings at Golf RSA at the moment,
Mhm.
but I will let you know. So I carried
Mm.
on with the scoring for a few months. And I remember it was about mid-December, just before my holiday, I got an email saying that there
Mm.
was an opening in the handicaps department at Golf RSA.
Okay.
So from that day on, I mean, I went to the interview. I feel like it was probably my best interview that I've done so far, just because it came so naturally. I
Yeah.
sometimes in a job interview, you can try be someone that you're not, or you're trying to impress people, but golf was
Mm.
something that I actually did care about and that I was passionate about. So the interview
Mhm.
went really well. Fast forward 3 years, we're here today, and essentially, Golf RSA is the national governing body for golf
Mm.
in South Africa. Like you have the USGA and the RNA, or you have Golf
Oh yeah.
Australia. We're the governing body for South Africa. So I
Awesome.
got
Awesome.
involved first of all with the handicap side of things, and the course ratings and the slope ratings. So that
Yeah.
was very cool. As a golfer myself, I was traveling the country. playing different courses, because one of the awesome perks about working in the course rating side of things is once you've rated the course, which a lot of people confuse with the ranking.
Yeah.
We don't rank the golf courses like the top 100, but we rate the difficulty of the course.
Oh, yeah.
And so once I got into the course ratings, what's really cool is after you do the actual rating, you play the course. So that you can obviously compare notes with the other raters. So if we rated the 1 9, they rated the other 9, we could kind of compare notes and make sure that we've got accurate calculations.
Okay.
So I really, really enjoyed that. And as I've progressed, we've introduced a new project that came through from the RNA, and it's called Golf Sixes League. And
Oh, lovely.
essentially, we realized at Golf RSA that we do a lot for the elite player. So, you know, we definitely trying to get young golfers into the game from a younger age so that they can play at that elite level. And we want our tournaments to be a level where they can progress and play, you know, one day on the European Tour or the PGA Tour, the World Tour, Live, whatever it is. But we felt like we weren't quite doing enough for the beginner golfer, you know, the player that hadn't ever stepped foot on a golf course.
Yeah.
And the Golf Sixes has been really instrumental in getting beginner players from grassroots level who have that intimidation factor and have never played golf in their life. It gives them the chance to get onto the golf course.
Oh, that's interesting. Just a quick one there, Mike. So Golf Sixes, from my understanding, is that you guys are trying to involve people who haven't played golf, just to make sure that they get the right basics and get into the sport and enjoy it as much as people who have been playing golf. Please correct me if I'm wrong there, or perhaps there's something that I'm missing there.
Yeah, I think golf has always been seen as this exclusive, expensive sport.
Yeah.
And it makes it difficult for new beginner players to get into the game because it's got that intimidation factor.
Yeah.
So what we really wanted to achieve through the Golf Sixes League is just to make golf fun again. You see in other sports, for example, with cricket, we've now in South Africa, we got the Betway SA20. And for example, I'm just going to do cricket as an example, but I mean, they were doing test cricket for years. And a lot of people, traditional cricket fans or traditional cricket players, were hesitant to go to different formats because that had been the way that it had been done for years, since the Ashes. And as soon as T20 started, you see a lot more people getting involved in the game of cricket. The sport started to grow, and a lot more people started playing, a lot more people started watching. And now you'll see that the IPL, for example, which is a T20 tournament, that's where all the money's at. So we wanted to do something similar with Golf Sixes and just to make the traditional game of golf fun again. So we wanted to make it accessible. You know, golf is a very, very expensive game, Tony. And I mean, now, you know, a lot of clubs are charging more than 1,000 Rand to go play a round of golf, which the average person can't afford or doesn't want to pay. You know, it's only a select few that have that kind of money. So golf is a very expensive sport, and we wanted to make it accessible. We wanted to make it affordable,
Yeah.
and team based as well. So what
Mm-hmm.
we do with the Golf Sixes is it works on a Texas Scramble format.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, Tony, you and I are two junior beginner players, which
Mm-hmm.
obviously we're not, but let's just pretend. Um, and if we were on a team,
Mm.
so we would both hit our drives, and then we would choose the best shot out of our
Yeah.
two. Then we
Mm-hmm.
would both play our second shots from that chosen ball.
Yeah.
Then we would
Okay.
choose the best second shot and play from there. And that would go on even on the putting green. We would
Yeah.
choose, the best putt until the
Oh.
ball goes in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the format. And we wanted to make golf, because it's such an individualistic sport, we
Yeah.
wanted to make it team based. And I think that's really what the Golf Sixes League is all about.
Mm-hmm. And then so far since the inception of Golf Sixes, how's been the intake from the general public?
So I think with any project, getting it
Yeah.
off the ground can be difficult. And
Mm.
people are so used to a certain way of doing things. We found
Yeah.
so obviously working with the World Handicap system, when we first
Mm-hmm.
brought the World Handicap system into play in South Africa in 2020, we had a lot of
Yeah.
hesitation because people were so used to the old handicap system. And
Mm-hmm.
I think once you start getting a little bit of momentum and a few people start relaxing to the idea, that's when the
Mm-hmm.
exciting things happen. So with Golf Sixes, initially it was difficult. We had
Mm.
a lot of clubs that were very hesitant to host events
Yeah.
because they had no proof of concept. They hadn't seen it work before.
Mm-hmm.
And since I think we started our first Golf Sixes event
Mm.
was it was the beginning of July in 2023.
Oh yeah.
And so it's been going on for just over a year and a half. And so far we've introduced about 800 golfers
Oh wow.
to the game of golf.
Mm.
So our main goal with that is getting those beginners into the game, so that they don't have that intimidation factor, so that they can play with other beginner golfers,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually, those players can become a member of a club
Yeah.
and get a handicap index and start
Mm-hmm.
to love the game that we all love.
No, 100%. And I think what you guys are doing is actually very key because, I mean, if Golf Six's main objective is to attract new players into the sport, which is what everybody wants to see the sport growing, getting new players in the market. I really, really think it's a nice deal. And like you're saying, once somebody gets the hold of things, they can then start being affiliated with certain clubs, which is I think the most intimidating thing for people to say, I want to start playing golf, but do I necessarily have to have a membership from the get-go? So what Golf Sixes is doing, from what I'm gathering, is that you guys want to bring people into the game, let them enjoy, and make sure that it's fun. It becomes a team sport instead of an individually based sport. So big ups to you guys for doing that. But now I would like to find out, right? You mentioned that you are with Golf RSA, and Golf RSA, you being part of it, you guys came up with the concept of Golf Sixes. But from obviously Golf RSA being well established and Golf Sixes being a product there of how have they been, how have Golf RSA been instrumental in making sure that golf clubs participate in what the Golf Sixes are doing?
So I think also the Golf RSA name has quite a lot of credibility behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
we do a lot for the golf clubs, and we're always trying to improve, and we're always trying to do more and to make the sport enjoyable and to grow the sport. And we
Yeah.
really, essentially it's like a rules official. Like
Mm-hmm.
rules officials, a lot of people get the wrong idea and they think that they're out to get you. And their job is really to help the player. And
Yeah.
our job as Golf RSA is to help the golf clubs
Mm-hmm.
and to make their life easier.
Yeah.
So I think what we try to do with the Golf Sixes League is work with the golf clubs. So
Mm.
you don't want to sell this idea of Golf Sixes League to the club and there's nothing in it for the club. So we do make sure that the club is at least remunerated for some of their green fees that they
Yeah.
might have lost, because Golf Sixes works with 6 holes. So
Oh, okay.
it's a 6-hole routing, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously most courses, especially I'm from Joburg, so most courses in Joburg are 18-hole courses. So
Yeah.
to find a routing, it can be difficult sometimes to find an exact routing that starts and ends at the clubhouse that is 6
Mm-hmm.
holes. And we found that when we first started it,
Yeah.
we would, let's say we would go from the front tees, which is usually the red tees,
Mm-hmm.
but because it was beginner players, even
Yeah.
that was far too long. And
Yeah.
we were promoting Golf Sixes League as being something that's fast paced and exciting, but
Mm-hmm.
players were taking over 3 hours to play 6 holes. So what
Yo.
we needed to do is we went back to the drawing board
Mm.
and we said, okay, we need to make this course so that it's not a drag for the players, it's not too long for them,
Yeah.
and they still get excited. You don't want a player making a 10 on every hole.
Mm.
So we do have a max limit of 10 shots, but what we did is we made the holes, let's say for a par 3 it would be on average about 100 meters. Our par 4s would start from close to the 150 marker, and our par 5s close to 200. So we would
Yeah.
set our own markers closer to the green, and then that made sure that our Golf Sixes events were a lot quicker, and the
Yeah.
kids were staying engaged. Because as a kid, if you do something for a long time, you can get distracted so easily. So
That's
we
true.
wanted to make it as quick as possible. And I think what's been really, really key is getting the parents involved.
Yeah.
So the parents often come with, and they'll come on a golf cart. And we encourage parents to come to our Golf Sixes League events because, they get to spend a bit of time with their kid, and
Mm.
their kids are having fun playing with their friends or playing with new players. And the parents often help with the scoring and, coaching their kid when they get a little bit down or a bit frustrated. And that really, it makes it fun for the players and the parents.
Mm. No, no. And just another question there, Mike. I just want to find out when it comes to intake, what would you say is the crucial age for someone who would like to join Golf Sixes League? What from what year do you take them in, and up till what year?
So, in terms of age, we are targeting, so because it's an RNA initiative and the RNA has seen juniors as the best way of
Hmm.
getting people into the sport, we target, I guess your junior players would be anyone under the age of 18 years.
Okay.
And obviously your really young players, it's it's awesome to see your 5 and 6 year olds, those tiny kids, just swinging a golf club with their little tiger clubs. It's awesome
Yeah.
seeing that and how excited they get because we don't do prizes. So
Yeah.
because it's not the focus is not to worry so much about your score. It's to start enjoying the game of golf. So
Yeah.
we just give everyone a medal at the end of each event, and just to see like a 5 to 8 year olds, the smile on their face when they get that medal at the end is
Hmm.
is so fulfilling. But having said that,
Yeah.
we've had 16, 17 year olds at our event who have absolutely loved it. And I
Mm.
think, perhaps before they were just a little bit scared to get involved in the game of golf because they didn't want to look like a beginner.
Mm.
They didn't want to be the one that's holding up the field. So
Hmm.
yeah, we encourage anyone, I guess, under the age of 18, any junior who is a beginner or has a handicap of over 36
Oh
to get
yeah.
involved in the golf sixes.
Okay, no, that's beautiful. And I just want to find out from you as part of the team that actually organizes or plans Golf Sixes League. What has been the most memorable moment for you since you started working on this project?
We do a lot of work with the South African Golf Development Board, and
Hmm.
Golf RSA do a lot of work with the South African Golf Development Board, also known as the SAGDB.
Yeah.
And the SAGDB, for those who don't know, gives opportunities to players from underprivileged backgrounds and gives them a chance in life, and it gives them a chance to play golf
Yeah.
from grassroots level.
Hmm.
So with the Golf Sixes, we've got our Golf Sixes events that we do on occasion. We usually look to do those during the school holidays.
Yeah.
But year round, we also collaborate with the SAGDB, and we have SAGDB Golf Sixes leagues.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Okay.
these are tailored to all those underprivileged players who might not get the chance. And we look at
Mm.
those very beginner players. So
Hmm.
we have in South Africa, we have 14 golf unions.
Okay.
So within the SAGDB, we've got a manager for each region.
Mm.
So what we've done is each manager runs their own SAGDB Golf Sixes league in their region,
Hmm.
and we've given so many opportunities to players who wouldn't necessarily have the ability to play golf if it wasn't for the Golf Sixes leagues.
Yeah.
So that's been really, really crucial, and I think that's been the most rewarding part of
Mm.
Golf Sixes. So one of our benefits that we gave to, for example, we had a league in Mpumalanga,
Yeah.
SAGDB Golf Sixes league in Mpumalanga,
Hmm.
and I mean Leopard Creek, as most of you will know, is the #1 course in South Africa. And I
Yeah.
was privileged enough to go there for the first time in 2023.
Hmm.
So what we did is for our Golf Sixes league that we had going on in Malalan is we said the top two teams could go play at the par 3 course
Yeah.
at Leopard Creek.
Hmm.
So we
Okay.
had two teams, each of 6 players, and we had a full Golf Sixes event there
Mm.
at the par 3 course. And it was just awesome to see the smiles on their faces. What we've also done is for the SA Open recently,
Hmm.
which was at Durban Country Club, we brought, similarly, we had two of our teams from KZN that came first in their league, and
Mm,
they walked with some of the players during the
yeah.
pro-am. So we had 6 players that walked with Charles Schwartzel and his group,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had another 6 players who walked with Casey Jarvis and their group.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they had a little short game clinic with Vilko Nienaber and Rupert Kaminski.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, I mean, they absolutely loved it. And Vilko and
Yeah.
Rupert were amazing. You know, they said like, oh, I'm not giving out any high fives unless you guys smile. They said like golf is supposed to be, you know, I think the kids were a little bit nervous at first, and he said golf's supposed to be a fun game.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be taken so seriously, and they made
Mm.
it so fun for all the kids involved. And I think just seeing the impact that it had on their lives is that's the most rewarding part about what I do and what we do through the Golf Sixes.
Awesome stuff. Now, I just want to ask you, Mike. I mean, there's tournaments everywhere. You just mentioned Durban. You mentioned Mpumalanga. For you, as part of the team, what are some of the logistical aspects involved in managing and administering all these leagues across the country? I mean, how do you go about making sure that you've got the energy and you're always on time and you make sure that things flow all over the country?
So to have the energy all the time can be
Mhm.
difficult. um, but I mean, I think from a logistical point of view, the
Yeah.
way that we try run it, especially with the SAGDB Golf Sixes leagues, is we give, because the SAGDB manager knows his players and he knows his region
Hmm.
so well, we give him
Yeah.
the authority to and the freedom for him
Mm.
to run the league in a way that works best for him and his players.
Yeah.
So each manager comes up with their own Golf Sixes league, and
Hmm.
after each game, they submit all the scores, and then my job is to, on the back end, you know,
Yeah.
put in all the scores, create a leaderboard, and send it back to the players.
Mm.
And in terms of our Golf Sixes events, we started, and most of our events have been in Central Gauteng. So,
Hmm.
from a logistical point of view, one of our big plans is
Mm.
expansion.
Yeah.
And our aim at the moment is to get the proof of concept and to have the process so nailed
Mm.
down that once we've had all these events in Central Gauteng, we can almost choose the specific role player in each region and
Oh,
expand the
yeah.
project throughout South Africa. But
Mm.
as you know, starting something, it starts off small,
Yeah.
but you just have to keep working on it and keep working on it, and eventually, you know, it blows up.
Mm. Mm. I know, but I think it goes with time, like you said. I mean, it's only about a year and a half, and you've got over 800 people enrolled with Golf Sixes League, which is close to one person signing up a day. So I think you guys are doing a great job. And I look forward to seeing more of these tournaments around South Africa. I look forward to seeing more juniors being involved, and the fact that you're trying to incorporate a family friendly environment where the parents are also um, asked to also partake and make sure that the kids are enjoying what they're doing. So what the product that you guys have, I don't want to lie, it is quite a phenomenal product, and I wish it came through earlier, like in the early 2000s, because if that was the case, I believe that we would have created more and more proper golfers within South Africa. But with that being said, Mike, can we go for a 2 minute break? And then when we get back, I just want to put you on the spot a bit and make sure that I frustrate you with some of the questions that I have in line for you.
I'm keen. Let's do it.
No, I'm just kidding. They won't be hectic questions, but it's more around the sport itself to say how have you seen the sport grow over the years? I mean, you mentioned that you started at 14, and I believe that something must have sparked you to actually start. So when we come back, let's get into that. Let's find out where your golf is sitting, and then let's see where Golf Sixes League is also heading.
Let's do it, Tony.
Awesome stuff.
In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the lush greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.
Invisible Inc. Consulting, your gateway to financial success. We specialize in providing the best solutions to manage your finance and accounting, ensuring a better life for you and your business. Our expert team offers top-notch accounting and tax consulting services tailored to various industries, including but not limited to engineering, medical practitioners, in construction, non-profits, events management, attorneys and financial services. Experience the power of our best analytics, backed by a commitment to our clients and a high level of knowledge. At Invisible Inc. Consulting, we strive to deliver the best service you can get, making your financial journey seamless and rewarding. Choose Invisible Inc. Consulting for a brighter financial future. Your success our priority. Please visit us at www.invisibleinc.co.za to reach us. www.invisibleinc.co.za.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is yet another beautiful session you had from the get-go. Now we're getting into our second segment where we put people on the spot. And I have to say, Mike has just been like, he's just killing all the questions that I have. Now I'm out of questions. I don't know what I'm going to ask him, but I will find a way to make sure that I put the man on the spot. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know who is joining us today, it is Mike Johnston, who is part of Golf RSA, and he plays a crucial role when it comes to the Golf Sixes League, which is targeted at new players, new golfers, people who are interested in golfing, especially juniors. Anyone from the age of 5 to 18 years is allowed to come through. So the whole idea is to make sure that golf is fun and also encourage the mindset of being a team player, because like Mike explained, we tee off and then we choose the best line tee shot, and then we move on, so and so. So ladies and gentlemen, let me not take too much time, and let's bring back Mr. Mike Johnston on the line. Mike, you still with us?
I'm still here, Tony. I still got my water.
I think I need a refill when it comes to that, but I'll do it later on. So Mike, like I said, in our second segment, this is, people always like saying people are being roasted. I don't think this is the roast. I would say that this is the grill, because it's cool. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and it's general questions. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary here. So let's talk about you as a golfer. You started at the age of 14, but what sparked you to actually get into golf at that time?
So, for me, I actually was, as I said earlier, I get obsessed with things. And for my first obsession was actually cricket. And I remember, so I actually lived in, for those who don't know, I lived in Tanzania for a year when I was in grade 3. So up until about the age of 8. And when I came back, everyone was playing sport, and everyone, all the cool kids, all the kids that I wanted to be friends with were playing cricket.
Yeah.
And one of those people actually also named Tony, Tony DeZorzi, who
Yeah.
now is opening batsman for the Proteas.
Mm.
And I just remember I watched Tony and I was like, this guy is so cool.
Yeah.
And I loved watching him bat, and I was like, man, I want to be like Tony. And
Yeah.
I took up cricket, and that was my first sport. That was my first love. Then at about 14, I went to the driving range with my grandfather, and
Yeah.
my grandpa's been playing golf for over 60 years. My grandpa's 89, and he still plays golf now, or
Oh,
I
lovely.
think he's about a 20 handicap.
Yeah.
And he took me to the driving range, and he tried to get me interested in it, and Tony, can I be honest? I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that initial attraction like I did for cricket. And then
Yeah.
I remember it usually happens when you go with a friend. So
Yeah.
what happened for me, because I'm quite a competitive person by nature, I'd made a really good friend through cricket when I got back from Tanzania in grade 3, and he was playing golf, but I didn't really know how much golf he was playing. And we went to the driving range and this was after I'd, almost said golf isn't for me. Went to the
Yeah.
driving range with him and his dad, and he was hitting the ball about 220 meters or
Ooh.
240 meters. And I thought, wow, like it's going to take me a long time to now compete with this guy. But it burnt a little bit of a fire in me. And I was like, okay, well, now I need to prove that I can at least hit it past the 100-meter marker, and I remember his dad came to me that day and he said, if you can get it past the 100-meter marker, we'll go play 9 holes.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
And I swung as hard as I could. I think it probably took me about 100 balls, Tony, but I got it done. I got it just past the 100-meter marker. And that day we went to go play 9 holes at Daneford.
Oh, that's nice, man.
And I think it's just once you play golf, once you experience it on the course. For me, I'm still someone who I can't stand the driving range. I will only go there if I'm critical but stable with my golf swing.
Yeah.
But normally, I'm one of those players where I can have a terrible round on the range, a terrible time on the range, and I can have shanks, and it just doesn't go well, and then go out onto the course and have one of my best rounds yet. It's just, I think I see the game so differently when I'm playing versus when I'm on the driving range. So once I got that opportunity to actually get onto the course, then I fell absolutely in love.
Oh, no. And I mean, like I like the fact that you were very honest to say at first I didn't enjoy it at all, and then going there with your friend, it did something to you from a competitive nature to say, listen, this man cannot hit balls further than me. I'm going to challenge myself to actually do better. And I think you actually hitting that 100-meter mark is what actually is interesting to me to say. What feeling did you get after getting it right and making sure that you hit that ball so far? How did you feel within yourself, and what's the first thing that came to mind afterwards?
It's a cliche in in the golfing community, but there's always that one shot that brings you back. And even if you have the worst round of your life, there's always that one good shot that you hit. And
Yeah.
you think at the end of your round, like, oh, I'm done with this game. I'm gonna sell my clubs. I've had enough. And on the
Yeah.
last hole, you will have one shot that you didn't quite expect that was, a pro could hit.
Yeah.
And then you go home and you're like, and someone will say, do you want to play golf tomorrow? And you're like, yeah, cool. What's our tee off time,
Yeah.
So I think there's always that one shot. And I remember that first round that I played, obviously getting it past the 100-meter marker was a big step for me at the time. And then when I played, I remember it was the sixth hole. It was an 80-meter par 3, and I took out a driver because obviously, my driver at that point was on the same day, and it was 100 meters. So took out a
Yeah.
driver. I hit it on the green. That was the first green I'd ever hit, my first birdie putt I ever had, and I sunk the birdie putt. So
Oh,
my
wow.
first round of golf ever, I had a birdie, which yeah, I mean, I got praised so much by my friend and his dad. I think he was a little bit jealous, but that really made me go, okay, cool, let me give this a go.
It's quite interesting because I mean, like you said, your first round of golf, you hit a birdie, and I would presume that's like one of the most memorable moments you've had on the golf course.
Tony, I don't birdie that hole often anymore. So it must have been a complete fluke, but it brought me back to the game like you can't believe.
No. Lovely. And then for you so far, since you started playing, what has been the most challenging aspect of your golf?
To be honest, the mental game is by far the most difficult. And I think you see it on the Pro Tour as well. I'm currently playing probably the best golf that I've played so far. I'm currently a scratch handicap, and it's taken me, I have been scratched before, but it's taken me a long time to get back here.
Yeah.
And I think what the difference was is letting go of that self-doubt on the golf course, because often I would get that, I'd play scratch league or any sort of tournament, and my mindset was so different compared to when I was playing with my friends. I had this unnecessary pressure that I had built on myself, and
Yeah.
you almost get that. Well, I mean, in my case, I had imposter syndrome on the golf course, where I was playing maybe off a 2 handicap at the time, and all of a sudden people on the first tee go, oh, 2 handicap, eh? Yo, this guy's good.
Yeah.
Hit your first shot out of bounds, and already you feel like you've got something to prove the whole day.
Yeah.
And when I hit a bad shot, I was getting very, very frustrated with myself. And what I've done recently in the last few years, which has really, really helped me in tournament players, just to take the context out of it.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I mean, and going into a few years ago, actually, when I had a putt, let's say I had a putt for par,
Yeah.
I was almost telling myself a story about how important this putt would be to sink in my head.
Yeah.
And I was saying, oh, this is a par putt. You don't want to miss this, because then you go to 3 over par. And, I was making this big build up rather than focusing on what was in front of me.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing recently, sorry to interrupt, is I make sure, and I got this advice from one of my friends, Chris Long, who is a brilliant golfer.
Mm.
Very, very good golfer. Currently playing on Bushveld. He's played a few Sunshine Tour events. And he
Mhm.
often caddies for me at Club Champs, which is a huge advantage over the other players. But what he said to me is, when you just
Mm.
focus on getting the best stroke and how you're going to get the ball to where you want it to go. Focus on your line and focus
Mhm.
on how you're going to get it there. And as
Yeah.
soon as I started taking that story out of it, I found that I was sinking more putts. And
Mm.
on the tee box, I wasn't thinking about where the danger was. I was,
Yeah.
looking at where I wanted to go. So
Mm.
even if I made a joke and said, "Oh, don't want to go in the trees on the right again," like
Mm.
yesterday, he would say, "Rubbish. Like, what trees? You're
Yeah.
aiming the left side of the fairway with a little cut, and
Mhm.
that's your target." And as soon
That's
as
true.
as soon as that self-doubt started, and it still comes, I'm not going to lie to you, but as soon as you can work with that self-doubt and try to get a positive thought before you hit the golf ball, try go in to each shot with the best mindset possible.
Mm.
Your golf really does transform.
No, 100%. Now, I just want to find out, Mike, earlier on you mentioned that one of your roles throughout Golf RSA career was to review golf courses. Now, of all the golf courses that you've played in, which one would you say showed you a challenge, and would you even go back to that very same course again and try your best with it again?
For me, it's Leopard Creek.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
I know that it's number one in the country, and I promise you, I'm not getting paid to say this because it is, but
Yeah.
that golf course is built different. It
Hmm.
is an experience from the moment that you get through the Malalan gate.
Yeah.
Leopard Creek is a story on its own, that golf course. I mean, from the first hole, you've got the leopard statue, and there's a leopard statue somewhere on each
Mm.
hole, and it's the story of the day in the life of a leopard. And I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. I think it's so cool. It's such an experience. And besides even the experience of it, just the way that that golf course is designed and the way that it's manicured, I don't
Mm.
think that you could get a golf course in South Africa that actually compares,
Yeah.
but also in difficulty.
Hmm.
That golf course ate me up.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know is that it's also closer to sea level than you think. So
Yeah.
I was expecting to hit the ball a lot further when I went to Leopard Creek, and it didn't go like that. I was hitting a lot of golf balls short.
Yeah.
But what an experience. I mean, that's, if I ever get the opportunity to go play that golf course again, if
Mm.
I'm ever lucky enough, I'm keen to take it on again and take it in my stride.
No, 100%. Mike, we are approaching the end of the segment, but I just want to find out from you, man. Now, with regards to Golf Sixes League, right? You mentioned that the most ideal position that you guys want to find yourselves in is to have a large footprint across the country, just to make sure that everyone starts getting involved in the sport. But with that being said, I just want to find out how would actually people get hold of Golf Sixes or be a part of Golf Sixes? What processes are there to take, and how do they actually contact you guys?
So on our website, we do have a bit of information when it comes to Golf Sixes League. We are currently looking to redesign our website. We've started doing a lot more social media posts when it comes to Golf Sixes. So I think the best way would probably be to reach out directly. My email address is michaeljohnston@golfrsa.co.za. If
Mhm.
you want to get a bit more information about the Golf Sixes League and what it's about, you can
Mhm.
go to our website, golfrsa.co.za, or follow us on social media. And
Mhm.
what we're looking to do now is also through the use of TikTok, we've started using that for promotion of more of our Golf Sixes leagues,
Mm.
because I think that's where we're going to find a lot more of the youth and those beginner players and
Yeah.
those players who aren't golfers but would be open to the idea of getting involved in the game.
Mhm. And then lastly, before I let you go, Mike, as a project manager for Golf Sixes, is there any changes that you actually would like to see coming up in the near future within, whether it be the structure of the league itself, whether it be certain rules within the league itself? Is there any changes that you believe need to be taken into consideration to actually make sure that it sticks to its core value, which is to increase the number of players and make sure that golf is more fun than people actually perceive it to be?
I think we want to definitely expand,
Hmm.
and like anything, if you do the same thing over and over, you get stagnant.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could pinpoint one thing,
Hmm.
but each and every event we're learning and
Yeah.
we're growing and we want to make it better. So we are so open to feedback from players, from parents, from
Mm.
golfers themselves.
Hmm.
And I think the next step is just to grow it so that people really do start seeing the value in getting beginners into the game and
Yeah.
making the game more accessible, more fun, more
Mm. Mm.
affordable.
No, 100%. But with that being said, Mike, I just want to extend a huge, huge thank you to you to say thank you for joining us today. And thank you to everyone around you who's allowed you this time to join us. Thank you to Golf RSA for being incremental in the development of golf in South Africa and making sure that all golf clubs abide by the rules that's been set out by the necessary committees. Thank you to Golf Sixes for actually saying, you know what, we need more younger players in the sport. Let's find a way to make sure that as much as we incorporate or we integrate younger players, we make sure that it still stays fun and relevant for them, because as a child, you want to do things with your friends and much more than you actually want to do things alone. So I love that you guys have structured it in a way that even if it's an individual sport, there's that team element, and the fact that you can choose the best balls. I mean, it creates that competition environment, but in a healthy manner. So big ups to you and the team for actually doing all of this. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing U10 Pro or go on the amateur tour, man, because you're a scratch golfer. You're as good as the plus twos and the plus threes there.
I don't know about that, Tony, but there's a reason why I work in the industry as well. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I love my golf, and this conversation has been so cool. It's been so nice getting to know you. You are
Hmm.
such an awesome host, and I love what you guys are doing for the game of golf as well. I think
Hmm.
having these conversations and making golf more human again is
Yeah.
what it's all about.
No, 100%, Mr. Johnston. And as I said, a big, big, big ups to you and everyone around you for giving us this opportunity. And for me, this conversation has been an eye opener because I didn't really understand how Golf Sixes work. But after you explained it, it makes better sense. And I have to say this out loud. Every single individual that's listening now, and every single individual who has a child playing different sports, it's never too late to try and enroll your child for golf. Like Mike said, he started going to the driving range with his grandfather, and it wasn't fun. But when he went with his friend and the dad's friend, uh, the friend's dad, it was a lovely experience because there was a challenge presented to him, and he had to go for it. So I have to say once again, Mike, have a lovely one, and thank you. Please continue doing what you're doing. Golf RSA, Golf Sixes. I believe that we will be seeing an influx of more and more young golfers. And obviously, the whole idea is to make sure that we create professionals and we create professions within the industry to make sure that the sport continues to live on.
Thanks so much, Tony. It was an awesome experience.
Thank you, Mike. You must have a lovely one, sir.
Same to you, Tony.
All right, ciao. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of our segment today, and I have to say, what an insightful conversation with Mike Johnston, who is the project manager for Golf Sixes League. And guys, please, whoever you are out there, let's get our children, let's get our youth into the sport, because it is such a lovely sport. There's a lot of core values that one can develop. There's a lot of networking that takes place, and it is a family environment, family-friendly environment where parents can actually play with their kids as well. So please, let's continue pushing the sport itself. Let's continue preaching the sport to whomever that we know who doesn't play the sport, because from me to you, I have to tell you, even myself, my first day on the driving range was not the most loveliest, but with the competition around me, because there was about 26 other kids around me who started playing golf the same time that I did, it drove me to actually want to improve on a daily basis. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I have to say adios. I love you guys. Please continue to support this podcast. We are available on YouTube, and you will see some cool interviews on YouTube where we've interviewed pros, we've interviewed champions, we've interviewed some of the best coaches there are in South Africa when it comes to golf, and what else? Apparel and equipment store owners. We've interviewed them. So go out there, check out our YouTube. It's still Balls and Tees, and please share the word. Make sure that we create noise about golf. There is nothing that's better than golf. Like I always say, if you're working tomorrow, please go to work, do what you have to do. But for those who are not working tomorrow, be on the golf course. And then if you work on Friday, then I need to intervene, because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's golf day. Monday to Wednesday, it's work time. For those who are working on Thursday, don't quote me, but you've got to do something and start playing more golf. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the magician, the boy with a lot of flair, I am Tony Tone, and I am signing out. Thank you.
In a world where fairways meet the airwaves, where birdies and banker collide, welcome to the show that takes you beyond the clubhouse and onto the green. This is Balls and Tees, your passport to the golfing universe, where every swing tells a story and every putt has its punchline. Get ready to step onto the last greens and dive into the world of divots, drives, and delightful banter.